Welcome everyone back to the podcast. We are going to jump into Proverbs chapter 4 today. We are highlighting verses 23 through 27. So let's jump right in. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Avoid all perverse talk. Stay away from corrupt speech. Look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the safe path. Don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil. And the prayer says, Abba Father, thank you for creating me with a mind, a will, and emotions. Give me wisdom to guard my heart so that I may please you. And then observe. It says, the heart must be diligently guarded because it prompts all activities in life. Scripture speaks of the heart as the seat of the emotions, intellect, and will. Consequently, the heart is crucial in the battle between wisdom and foolishness. For example, because a person's words originate in the heart, we must be careful to guard it so that our speech does not become corrupt. The important thing about this too is, so out of our heart comes our speech, comes our words. How do you guard your heart? How do you guard your speech? Well, some of the big ways are what you watch, what you hear, and then how you're treated, what the relationships that you allow in. And it's in the same way that you cannot eat a diet of junk food and expect not to have sickness, not to have inflammation, not to have ailments and symptoms of bad health. We cannot consume, shows that are not glorifying to God, movies that are not glorifying to God, music that is not glorifying to God. I mean, if you think of your top 5 favorite songs right now, print the lyrics out and just read the lyrics. If they are not, not only not glorifying to God, because a lot of, secular music isn't, but if it's not glorifying to God, but if it's on the opposite, if it's talking about things that are just not it, if it's talking about stress, if it's talking about heartbreak, you're ingesting that into your heart. If I have a piece of cake at the end of the day or at a birthday party, but throughout the day I was eating pretty healthy, I had my water, I was active, like that cake, I'm not going to probably see the effects of that cake. But if I exclusively eat cake, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a full diet of refined sugar and gluten and things that are known to show inflammation, I can't wake up the next day and be like, well, gosh, I'm shocked that I'm breaking out. I'm shocked at this pain. I'm shocked that I have high cholesterol. I'm shocked that I'm gaining weight. Those things are a byproduct. And I think that there comes a point, it is counterculture, but there comes a point when you're trying to pursue a life with Jesus where you have to take responsibility for what you are consuming, what you're watching, what you're listening to, how you're allowing others to treat you. Because as you ingest that is what comes back out of you. And we all know the power of life and death is in the tongue. So whatever you speak out is what your life will be. And I think too, I love when it says, the heart is the seat of the emotions, intellect, and will. If you feel like your emotions are out of control, if you're being overrun by anxiety, if you are full of fear, if you just are not having good relationships, and you just feel unsteady and not confident and a lack of self-worth, I want to ask you, it's a great time to check in with your heart. How is your heart? What have you been feeding your heart? Are you even giving it a fighting chance? You deserve to be well. You deserve to be in control of your life. And what I mean by that is God gave us free will. So there's a certain element of control that we have, so to speak. We can choose to submit to Him, or we can choose to submit to the world. We can choose to consume as much of Him as we can, or we can choose to consume the things of the world. But again, that's a pure diet versus a junk food diet. And if it's out of balance, eventually you're going to feel it. Your spirit man is going to start getting inflammation. There's going to start being, migraines and high cholesterol and weight gain and hard to move around. And it's the beauty of this, though, is that God is not afraid of any of this. If you've been sinning, whether you knew it or you didn't, or if you've just not been consuming a good diet, God's not asking you to switch it up before you can come to Him. He's like, hey, I know that it's quite simple for me to say, or for my word to say to do this, but I know it's not easy. So come to me with everything. Come to me with all your emotions, all your sin. Come to me with that boyfriend you won't break up with. I'm not asking you to leave any of it before you come to me. I'm asking you to bring all of it to me. The other part says, the author instructs us to guard our hearts. We protect our hearts by growing in godly wisdom and applying it to our lives. As we guard our hearts, our behaviors will be positively affected as well. For example, our hearts give us the capacity to live with joy regardless of our circumstances. I love how it says, as we guard our hearts, our behaviors will be positively affected as well. Don't feel like you have to change anything. And if you're afraid, if you're like, I don't want to let this go, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't want to let it go, so I'm not going to draw near to God, I want to encourage you, bring it with you. Because the coolest thing one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me is, if I'm honest, there were some things I enjoyed doing. There were some behaviors that I'm like, I don't want to sacrifice, I don't want to let them go. And for many years, I was like, maybe not many years, but probably, I was like, okay, so I'm not going to get close to God because I know I have to let go of these things, or he's going to force me to let him go, right? It was this whole big thing. But can I tell you something? Just as you are, instead of trying to eliminate things out of your life, if you just add more Jesus, if you just draw near to him and just say, hey, I just want more of you, you will find that your heart, like it says right here in Proverbs, changes, and your heart for those things gets eliminated. Like, you don't have the desire for the same things. There are some things that are tricky to let go because they're deeper rooted, they're strongholds. But you guys, I think so often we're afraid that it's going to be so painful that God's going to make me give this up. It's not always painful. Just drawing near to him, you don't even care. Once you get a taste of him, you're like, take whatever you want. I just want more of you. And that sounds so dramatic, and people who have never experienced that, or who aren't believers, they're like, that's so weird. You're crazy. That's totally fine. You can think that because I'm the one that had the experience. But then when I talk to people who have experienced that, they're like, yep, I know exactly what she's talking about. So I just want to encourage you, come with all your stuff, all your baggage, all your everything. God can handle it all. Not only can he handle it all, he wants it all. He wants all of you, everything that's attached to you. So just go for it. On the other side, it says, in the margin or in your journal, make a commitment to guard your heart so that what you say, see, and do glorifies God. Journal your plan to guard your heart and overcome any sinful attitudes, speech, and actions. So this could actually be, probably even for myself, although I don't watch or listen to too much because I have 2 young children, but this could be a really cool 1-week challenge. Journal how you're feeling, on a Sunday, and then make a commitment for the rest of the week to only partake and only consume things that glorify God. So stop binge watching your favorite show. Don't watch a movie. Stop, only listen to worship music. And this doesn't have to be for the entirety of your life, but there is a spirit behind everything. And if the spirit behind it is not to draw us closer to God, it's to pull us away from him. Just facts. And if you're going out to watch a movie and it's that one piece of cake, you're probably going to be fine. But other people have diabetes and they can't have sugar. What I'm saying is that it's not the same. It's not one size fits all for everyone. Some people can do that and they're fine. Other people are like, no, you know what? Even for me, a lot of times listening to certain songs, I'm like, can't do it. Bothers my spirit. So as much as sometimes worship music gets a little boring, I'm just going to say it. I'm like, I don't want to listen to more of this. It's what my soul can handle. It's what my soul needs. And that's part of being a grown-up, is saying no to your flesh and yes to what your heart needs, what your soul needs. So that is it. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow for Proverbs 5, right? I think so. All right. Bye, guys.